everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My guy, T-Foss, Detroit sports icon, sitting in for D-Mac, who's a little under the weather. Joik Bell will be back tomorrow as well. My name is Neil Rule. Happy to have you rolling with us.
You sure you want to be by me? Everybody hates me today.
the most hated man in Detroit sports, which we'll get into. There's obviously a ton to get into. We got Fish in the Bowl. He's buzzing off the CFL semifinals. The Grey Cup is set. He's ready to rock. Sawyer's in the house. Lots of Big D energy in the room here today. But T-Foss, Lions win. Michigan wins. The state of Michigan may never lose a football game again.
Well, people are happy, which is great. Michigan fans should be happy. They won a Big Ten title. They validated. For the life of me, I cannot figure out why we had such a huge celebration with the Lions. 1-10-1, or whatever the hell they are. You thought they'd won the Super Bowl. To me, I was embarrassed for my fellow fans here. How can you, I mean, the thing is, these people here just keep letting this pathetic organization off the hook time after time after time after time after time. Barry Sanders gave up on this organization. Calvin Johnson said, peace out. Matthew Stafford and Ndamukong Suh said, we've had enough. They ship out Darius Slay. He wanted out. But these fans, hey, we're still behind them, even though I think we all know that the Ford family has done everything they can to ruin this organization, but we're still behind them. Oh boy, can't wait. Won a game. I just don't get it.
And T-Foss, look, there's validation to what you say. And we saw it. Look, and for those of you who haven't on Woodward Sports social media channels, Stick was popping bottles yesterday.
I saw that. I was a little embarrassed for him, too. You know, it's
if
crazy.
Stick's still running, we got to get him out here on the show throughout the course of the day. I want to know, just the mindset of Stick at the post-game show live from the brass rail yesterday. He had a bottle of champagne. He was popping it. I mean, T-Foss, people were hyped. They were. And look, you know me, and you know what I'm about. And there's no other path forward other than draft picks. That's it. That's the only thing that can save this team. I'm upset that they gave up the cushion because we had room. We had a game to burn. I didn't want the Lions to go winless, like if I had my choice. And we were in a position for them to not go winless and for me to still accomplish my goals.
It's only one win.
Right, it is. It's only one win. And look, you can bounce back from this. You can. I know the car got off the route a little bit, right, but you can get it right back on the highway, and we can still get this done. Even me, who, again, celebrates draft capital, who only wants the most valuable asset that the Lions organization can get. That's all I want. Even me, for a split second, I could understand it, T-Foss. I could, for a split second.
But, people don't look at this. The Minnesota Vikings gave them the game.
Oh, we're going to get into that.
Oh, my God.
Mike Zimmer should have been fired at halftime of that football game.
Yes. Then he's in the same position that the Bears were in on Thanksgiving. All he's got to do is milk the clock, kick the field goal, and they're done. The only way the Lions could win is if Minnesota scored a touchdown with lots of time left on. And, of course, Minnesota's like, oh, we got to score. No, you don't. It's 150 left. As soon as I saw they scored with 150, I said, you know what, the Lions are going to win this game.
T-Foss, we've had this conversation many, many times, you and I have. And, again, as someone that covered the Arena Football League back in the day, my first job in media, at that point, T-Foss, the time's more valuable than the points.
Absolutely.
Because the points are there. Mm-hmm. The time is the most valuable thing.
But arena football, you score every minute and 20 seconds, though.
Right, but that's where you have to do the thing where you hold the football until the absolute last second. You have to make sure you're the last person to have the football. Mm-hmm. And it just, we keep going back to that, T-Foss, where I'm surprised we don't see it more in this day and age, where almost taking a knee. You got the ball first down.
No,
inside
not
the five.
Almost taking a knee, brother. You take a knee,
right?
That's what the Bears did.
Or I'm of the opinion You run the ball to the 1, and then you go down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I would operate. But whatever. Mike Zimmer has proven he wants to be fired time and time again. And the Minnesota Vikings, and Sawyer, you know this, man. D-Mac and I sat in this chair last Wednesday before I left. We sat in this chair, and I told you guys, the Vikings are the Vikings. They're capable of beating anybody, and they're capable of losing to anybody. In the NFL, at any given moment, they can be 15-0 and lose to the Lions. They can be 0-15 and beat the Patriots in the Tom Brady years. They've always proven that way. And Zimmer, speaking of clock, what's he doing at the end of the first half there? Going for it, 4th and 10? Basically giving up a field goal? Like, what is going through his mind?
I think at that point he's like, he doesn't respect the Lions. We can do anything we want, so I can do silly stuff now.
Yeah, I don't respect Mike Zimmer
I think he
either.
Messed up there. But here's a guy that has lost. They've lost 5 last-second games this year. Minnesota. We talk about the Lions losing them. The Minnesota Vikings have done. It's been their own doing.
100%. I mean, it's always been that way for them, and that's why I'm surprised. And look, we're going to get into the Dan Campbell thing and all that. Certainly, the Michigan discussion as well. We have some thoughts on that. Michigan obliterated Iowa, and look, I can't find. Terry Foster and I were talking before the show, and I want the answer to this too, and I'll pose it to the people in our YouTube chat thread. Appreciate you all jumping in and being involved with the show. And here's the thought, T. Foss, about the Lions, and Steve Brown said this well. They needed a win just to validate Dan Campbell, and I don't think that in the big picture, this hammers it home and says, all right, Dan Campbell's on the scene as a coach right now. Here we go. Get these draft picks, and here we go. It was swirling. I sat in this chair and talked about it. I know you sat in that chair and talked about it. The questions are being asked right now about Dan Campbell as a coach, and they will continue to be asked with what happened yesterday with the 4th down call and all that stuff. They got away with it this time to where they haven't in the past, but the questions still remain.
Yeah, his incompetence... he was able to avoid his incompetence. It didn't hurt him yesterday because the other coach was even more incompetent. When Dan Campbell, he's in a tough position, 4th down and 1 or something. He's deep in his territory. He can't run the football because the Lions on 4th and 1 can't make a first down most of the time. So he had to do some wacky play or something. So he tried that. Somebody said, we should have just punched it over and got the first down. I don't blame him for not doing that because time and time again, the Lions on 4th and 1, they're not a power team. They normally miss those out. Yeah,
and that was something for me where I thought the exact same thing. That 4th and 1, the old quarterback sneak play, just move it up there. And look, we all knew that was coming. I could hear it watching it on television. I could hear it in the stadium. The announcers knew. I knew. You knew. My sons knew. My son, who's 12, why are they throwing the ball there, Dad? And I said, I got no answer for you, son. I've got no answer for you.
I tell you why, because they can't run the football. Quarterback sneak, he would have been stacked up.
See, that's my thing, Terry, where you drafted Penei Sewell, and he's your guy, right?
Yes.
That's your guy.
Yes.
Then that's who we're going over. You know what I'm saying? I'm making it about attitude at that point. To where who we running behind here in the huddle? Who we running behind? Who's going to win the battle? The finessing, and look, we're getting ahead of it. They won. People were excited. I get all that. The watcher says T. Foss is the top hater at the Player Haters Ball. Silky Foster, I guess you are today.
I am.
Hey.
It's just, look. You give this team every benefit, not everybody, but a lot of these Lion fans that dress up in Lions leather and put motors on their head, give this team the benefit of the doubt time after time after time after time. And they let you down time after time after time. And you're like sheep. Okay, Lucy's already picked the football off up 15 times. I'm going to go for it again. This town is small town, small time, and only with the Lions do they allow this. You don't allow this with the Wings. You don't allow the Pistons to do this. You don't allow the Tigers to do stuff like this. But when it comes to the Lions, you are so in love with this inept franchise that you allow them to do anything they want. And maybe this is one reason they're so bad. There's no accountability for this franchise. And I'm sick of it. I've been sick of it for a long time. And I am so embarrassed for this fan base who just get dragged by the nose. Okay, Lions, that's our team. Oh, boy, love them. Why? Why?
Yeah, but we're going to get into the Michigan discussion. The whole playoff pairings have been announced. Certainly, we know what the road is right now. And there were no surprises yesterday. At least I didn't think so. And I don't understand the big workup. But I think we've proven in the past, so Terry, that we get worked up about those kinds of things here.
Course,
the playoff football rankings that really have zero meaning right now. You win 2 football games, you win the national championship.
That's right.
Period.
Now, I've heard this time after time after time. I don't want to see an all SEC final. Okay, then beat them. Michigan plays Georgia. Beat them. That's all you got to do.
It's very simple. Like, it's painfully simple to me, too. I mean, and everyone says, well, the committee shows bias towards the SEC. It's a human committee. And we've talked about that before. You know my disdain for the members of the College Football Playoff Committee. But with all that being said, it's a human committee. And I know that they say each year happens in a vacuum. But when you're talking about somebody with the track record like Alabama, it's not in a vacuum. 100% you do.
Right.
100%. When you win half the national titles in the last 10 years, then you'll get the benefit of the doubt.
That is true. Now, when the SEC is in these playoffs, do they get their heads kicked in? No. They win.
They do the head kicking.
Yeah. And they don't just beat teams, they beat the snot out of teams. So if you're doing that, you deserve the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Peaceful Tim says, T. Foss, please let them enjoy this win. We can pile on them next week, sir.
Hey, you know what? Here's what you do. I'm not saying don't be happy the Lions win, but you know what they deserved yesterday? A golf clap.
A golf clap?
And then you move on. Just give them a golf clap, and that's it. They don't deserve your love.
Yeah, absolutely. But T. Foss, hey, I brought the hat back out because the roar's been restored for 1 week, T.
Yeah,
the 91 Central Division Championship hat. I brought it out for you, T. Foss.
Thank you.
Because the roar's been restored, my friend.
You.
At least for a week, anyway.
Okay. All right. Go on with your bad self.
Well, for those of you that had the Lions in your MyBookie account, certainly you are happy. And if you don't have your account with MyBookie yet, look, what are you doing, man? Why take a chance investing in stocks when you can double your money instantly with MyBookie? You can't predict when a hunch will pay off, but use our promo code Woodward at MyBookie, and I guarantee you will double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. The best part is MyBookie accepts everything from credit cards to well-known cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, so you can bet and withdraw with crypto if you want to. This Saturday, UFC is closing out 2021 with a bang, and 2 world title fights are going down at UFC 269. You guys know how it does. These are big-time events. You want to get down on it. The fights might be a coin flip, but again, this is a big-time event, and you can get down on it at mybookie.ag. So don't miss out. Double your first deposit up to $1,000 by using promo code Woodward. Head to MyBookie today. Place your bets and watch the sparks fly with UFC 269. And oh, by the way, checking the MyBookie lines, Alabama, 14-point favorite. Georgia, a 7.5-point favorite over Michigan. So if you want to get down on the college football playoff, you can do that as well. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a gambling problem? Call the Gambling Problem Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
The pros know. Go! Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Welcome back to Big D Energy. Look, we're all at a loss wondering what we can do to help Oxford. One way we can do that is to sign a petition to rename the Oxford football field as Tate Myre Stadium. If you can, go to www.change.org, sign the petition. Look, guys, I know it's not going to bring anybody back, but this is one small way that we can make sure that the victims are not forgotten. Go to change.org/P/Oxford High School and sign the petition today. On and popping here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule and T-Foss in for DMAC and Joik Bell. Happy to have you all along for the ride. And, man, there's a lot of interaction here about the Lions, T-Foss. Dom Rivera says, T-Foss, how you feel about the fans booing Sheila Ford during the Calvin ceremony? Isn't that a form of expression to show their disapproval?
Yes, I was happy to see that. But, that's a positive, even though there were still some people who were angry about that. They said that Lion fans were not classy. I think you have to show your disapproval. The fact that I think it was only 46,000 people showed up for the game yesterday, that's an expression of your disapproval. But I just saw too much rah from yesterday for one win.
And look, we'll discuss it more as we go on. There is no doubt about that. But we do have to bring up Michigan, what happened Saturday night. They steamrolled Iowa, which you guys know I've been consistent with my thoughts on Iowa for the last, 20 years about what Iowa is. And look, they did it. They pounded them. They got the job done, and they won the Big Ten championship 42-3 over Iowa. And T-Foss, just let the questions begin. Peaceful Tim says, how come Michigan wins big and doesn't get number one? Bunch of crap. Didn't Alabama win big over Georgia?
Yeah, Alabama won big over Georgia, the number one team in the nation. I could see it going either way. If I had a vote, I would have voted Alabama, Michigan, Georgia, and Cincinnati. I would have voted just the way they did, because I think Alabama is a better team. Alabama has that resume, and the thing is, Michigan people want us to give them love because of what they did in the past. I'm giving Alabama love because of what they've done recently. They win national titles. They're normally the best team in the nation. They get better as the season goes on. Now, both teams have been magnificent, but I think in a coin flip, I would have put Alabama number one over Michigan, based mostly on the fact that they beat the number one team in the nation, and based on what they've done in these playoffs before. Here's what I like, and Michigan fans, you can respond to this. I heard up into the Big Ten championship game how crappy Iowa was, and I agree with you. Then when Michigan beats him, it's like, hey, man, we just beat a big team. We should be number one. Baloney. If they were crappy before the win, they were crappy after you beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, and that's – I've been consistent on Iowa for a very long time. Tell me their last big win. Tell me – they went to the Orange Bowl 15 years ago or whatever.
We had this discussion like 8 weeks ago, and I looked at you like I had a booger up my nose. I couldn't even tell you what was going on. No, that's what Iowa. They're wonderful in the Big Ten West. Take them out the Big Ten West, and they're nothing.
Yeah, and and MPWMU says Alabama played Mercer and New Mexico State, for Christ's sake. Well, I mean, Michigan has that on their resume too. Western Michigan and Northern Illinois and stuff like that. They do that too, T-Foss.
They do.
Over the next couple years. And the schedule has a big part of it, because I knew that people were going to go to that. And, you look at their schedule over the next 2 years, and we have it on our YouTube channel right now. Like next year, the non-conference is Colorado State, Hawaii, Connecticut. The following year, it's East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green for Michigan. And T-Foss, look, I know people don't want to hear that right now, and they're buzzing, but college sports is a schedule-based game.
It is.
It is. And the bottom line through all this is Alabama is Alabama. And they win the national championship regularly. And yes, because you're getting criticized right now for having that SEC bias right now in the YouTube chat thread. They're saying T-Foss has that SEC bias too.
No, the SEC is better. The top teams in the SEC are better than the top teams in the Big Ten. Now, and I got into an argument with my wife. She's a Spartan. And I said, honey, you do not want to see Michigan State in the Final Four. She says, why not? I said, because they're going to get their asses kicked. You don't want to see it. Now, I think what's happened in the last few weeks, the SEC, Alabama, and Georgia have come a little bit closer to the pack. And Michigan is playing better football now. Michigan is a better team now than when they played Michigan State.
I agree with that.
So, but if you want to call it SEC bias, all right, when was the last time a Big Ten team won the national title?
Ohio State.
And that's it. Bama just keeps winning it every other year.
Well, and that's it, Terry. Like, here's the bottom line with it. You call it SEC bias, whatever you want to call it. Alabama goes in there and shuts out Michigan State. I know it doesn't compute to this year. I know it's not the same. But, man, I'm just convinced you put Nick Saban in these quote-unquote tournament-style games with what they were able to do, and then this Jamison Williams guy that transferred from Ohio State is shot out of a cannon going down the field with track speed and running away from him. But it just never stops with them, Terry.
Right.
Like the level of talent. And Bryce Young, I feel like Florida Evans right now when James died, because I'm like, damn. He's
Right.
going back to Alabama next year. The year that the Lions have the inside track at the number 1 pick, because T-Foss, that guy's the best player in college football.
Well, if the Lions allow Dan Campbell to coach some more, they may have a shot at him next year. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that certainly has played itself out. We have a bunch of conversation right now in the YouTube chat thread. Rack says, Neil, your tweet this weekend was spot on. It doesn't matter if Michigan was 1 or 2. They would have just put Georgia at 3 or 4. And through all that, Terry, that's the thing that I think people need to get past. They could have put Michigan at 1. They just would have put Georgia at 4. I mean, they would. This is how it was going to end. There was no other ending in sight. And I just don't understand the workup about 1 or 2 or anything like that. And here was my point about it. And I give Michigan a lot of credit because they beat Ohio State and they won the Big Ten. And if you win the Big Ten, you're probably going to get in the playoff, which they did. Through all that, with all that being said, this is it now, Terry. Like, there are no more narratives. There's no Iowas on the other sideline. There's no home games anymore. This is neutral site. You're lining up, and you got to go through the teeth of the SEC to win a national championship. You're either going to do it or you don't.
But you know what these Michigan people are saying without saying it? They're scared. They're scared of the SEC. They can talk about SEC bias, but the bottom line is they don't want to play SEC teams. That's why there's an SEC bias, because A, they win national titles, B, you're afraid to play them, C, you're trying to avoid them.
Rock Howard, Terry's moving down south with the good old boys, hanging up the scarf. Hazardous Nature says it's a down year in college football. It's wide open. And look, that's been my mantra all year long. Again, just go back to the quarterback play. Because outside of Bryce, and that's why Bryce Young is just clear-cut going to win the Heisman. I know that's blasphemy. Look at those numbers he put up. Look at the way he shredded
SEC
Georgia.
Bias.
Now, I mean, Terry, that's what it is. And I was watching the game. We were actually watching the game on the bus on the way back from Indianapolis with Oakland, and was talking with some of the people on the staff, and their thoughts on Bryce Young were, because Georgia's defense is historically good in college football. Is that fair?
That is fair.
That's fair.
Until they play Alabama.
Until they played Alabama. But when you make the good or historically great look normal, what does that make you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like with Bryce Young and that Alabama offense and what they were able to do, because that offense lost 7 players to the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft last year. 7. And it was just keep on keeping on, man. They look very similar.
Any other program, they're 5-7 the next year, if they get lucky. So here's what I'm hearing. Alabama has more NFL talent. Alabama beat the number 1 team in the country. Alabama is all that. Don't want to play Alabama, but Alabama shouldn't be number 1. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious what the people's thoughts are. Aaron Young says SEC freaking cheats. At the Big Ten schools, you get a better education. That doesn't really come into play here. Like, again, for me, it just comes back to this. Certainly you get credit. You did something that you hadn't done in almost 2 decades. Props to them. But now it's for keeps, Terry. Because if you come out here and you get clowned, what's going to be the narrative?
You're just like Michigan State. You're a second-rate conference. So what Michigan does is, look, everything Michigan does now is gravy now, or icing on the cake.
See, Terry, I don't think that, because you have a chance right now. You have a chance. You have a chance to stamp everything.
Okay, but what were some Michigan people wanted to do 3 weeks ago? Fire Jim Harbaugh. This program, they're fake. They're not really that good. But you've beaten Ohio State. You won the Big Ten. It's the two things he was hired to do. He was hired to beat Ohio State. He was hired to win a Big Ten title. He did that. Now, with that, yes, he's in the college football Final Four. If Michigan loses to Georgia, no shame. Now, if they lose 62-0, that's a different ball game there. That's like, all right, y'all are frauds. But, if it's a 42-35 or 42-38 or some wild game like that, you can't hate on them.
T. Grizzly Bear says, give me Georgia. We want all the smoke. We got nothing to lose. And that's the mentality that I like, because you're gonna see what you are, Terry. Mm-hmm. That's through all this. And we got a ton of time, certainly, to talk about that game that's on New Year's Eve again for some reason. That I'll never get. The first year they did the games on New Year's Eve, the ratings were down like 33%. Like, that's the one night where...
Yeah.
Because you get like some family obligations and stuff like that.
Or you going out to party. Hey.
Yeah, you're going to get it in.
Right.
So I don't understand why they got to continue to be the smartest person in the room and say, oh, this is the year that we're going to make it work.
Well, the reason is that the games are actually on New Year's Day. They just want you to focus on them. They have ruined the bowl system with this playoff. I love the playoff. I don't give a damn about the other bowl games. I don't give a damn about Michigan State at the Peach Bowl. I don't give a damn about the Fiesta Bowl. I only care about these two games and then the championship game. So they want these games as far removed from the Rose Bowl and all these other bowls as they can. So I didn't even want them on the same day.
Yeah, which I don't get. What blackmail does a Rose Bowl have, by the way?
It's granddaddy of them all. Come on now,
Yeah, with Ohio State, who will be in it, and they're only there because Michigan won the Big Ten title.
Right.
They got Michigan's leave-ins this year. Yeah, granddaddy of them all. Yeah, great. They're playing. What are they playing? Utah. Oh God, I can't wait for that one.
And even though they played the game in Vegas, I said it's hard to win in the mountains of Utah. I knew Utah was going to beat Oregon.
Yeah, well, it's true. It is. It's true. You saw it. You saw Oregon, and then Oregon lost their coach. What do you got, Fish?
I know exactly why that game's on New Year's Eve. It's because it falls on a weekend, and they want about a week out for spacing for the next week to be the final.
No, which I understand, but then in what, the second, that's a Friday, right? And then January 2nd's an NFL Sunday?
Yes.
So they're up against it?
Because they did have it one year where it was like December 27th, and people were like, why so far away from New Year's? Well, it's because that was a Saturday.
Yeah, then just put it on the 30th, man. You know what I'm saying?
What is that, a Thursday?
Yeah.
But that'll run with Michigan State Pitt. I mean, I know they'd move Michigan State Pitt, but...
Play Michigan State Pitt on New Year's Eve.
No, you can't play the 20...
The Peach Bowl always used to be on New Year's Eve.
I'm saying you don't want to mess around with the Quick Lane Bowl.
Oh, 26? Oh, yeah.
Did they moved the time of the Quick Lane Bowl?
It's the 27th.
Yeah.
27th, but it's normally 26th.
It's like 11 in the morning?
Yeah, it's like 11 or 11:30.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, they're playing the Fiesta. Is it the Fiesta Bowl? Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, 10 a.m. in Arizona. That seems smart on New Year's. Don't know what genius came up with that.
This is a mess. This whole thing is a mess.
Too many bowls, too many bowl-eligible teams.
Yeah, this whole thing is a mess. Well, look, if you're going to go down to the Quick Lane Bowl, when you get done, slide on through the Foaling Warehouse and have a good time. The home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. You can host a corporate party, team building event, or just come on through. Pull up on them with your family and friends. Woodward Sports had their holiday party there. A good time was had by all. You can reserve private lanes, $120 for up to 10 people for 2 hours. They have over 100 beers available, a $2 mystery beer machine, which Sawyer can attest to. Sawyer, what delicious flavor did you get?
Oh, I got myself a Pat's Blue Ribbon, baby. A little PBR.
I knew it was going to be
D-Mac
PBR.
special.
PBR. I heard Colt 45 was in play for some of the other folks that were out there.
Shut up.
Works every time, T-Foss. You know.
And for Christmas, they have a naughty and nice one.
A Colt 45 is malt liquor.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Works every time. T-Foss and Billy D. Williams. They have multiple full bars. You can bring your food in. You can have it delivered, whatever you want to do. What I know you're going to do, though, when you're at the Folding Warehouse, you're going to have a good time. Come get your full on. Check it on at foldingwarehouse.com.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Off and running here, Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network, talking Michigan football, talking the college football playoff. The Bulls have kind of creeped its way into the discussion as well. Mike G says the Rose Bowl is smart. They would have had Ohio State and Notre Dame. You could swim and all that money. They try to they're so...
But aren't you tied to the conference?
Yeah, they try to keep that, the Big Ten, Pac-12 thing that was cool, 20 years ago. But now, with all the movement... And that's why the Michigan win was so big, too, for the Big Ten Conference. A, they get that extra $12 million or whatever it is for them going to the playoff. But B, it slides everybody else up a bowl tier. Right. So Ohio State gets in the Rose Bowl. So, it is. It's a financially great
Are you even
going to
watch the Rose Bowl?
Well, I'm not, because Oakland has a game New Year's Day. So I got to do the television for it.
If Oakland didn't have a game, would you watch the Rose Bowl?
I probably would, at least the beginning, because T-Foss, I will say this. There are few things in sport, and look, I guess I complain about it, but then I understand why they do it, because I do the very thing I'm complaining about. There are very few things in sports that I think are as cool to see as dusk at the Rose Bowl, when that sky's got the pink hue to it, you know what I'm saying?
Right, it is cute.
It's cute, and it's cool, and I like it. And, just the turf of the Rose Bowl, and just the whole Rose Bowl mystique. So, yeah, I guess, I'm going to sit here and complain about it, and then I'm going to go watch it, T-Foss. So, joke's on me, I guess, right?
It is. I don't like to brag, but I've actually been there and seen the dusk live. It's pretty cool, and then it gets kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you got to wrap up a little bit, so that adds to it.
Yeah, I do. It is. It's very picturesque. It's very scenic. Skipper Sonny says Sun Bowl's at 9 a.m. for Washington State. Steve Brown, didn't they add a 42nd bowl this year, or is that next year? Way too many bowls. No, that's this year.
I thought they had 44 this year.
I think it was 42 this year, because there is one team that's bowl eligible that won't make it to a bowl. I think, was it Kent State? Maybe I can't remember who it was, but there was one bowl eligible team that won't make it.
But they still had a 5-7 team in there.
They did. Well, and Robert Colosia says Neil's Hawaii is hosting the Polynesian Paralysis Bowl. I thought they needed to be 500. Robert, for teams that play Hawaii every year, there's a buffer for bowl eligibility. If you play a 13th game, as long as you get to 6 wins, you can get in a bowl, and Hawaii's obviously included with that buffer, because anyone that plays Hawaii is entitled to have another game.
Let's look at that. I think Hawaii's 5-7, and they're hosting their own bowl.
Yeah, they're playing in the Hawaii Bowl this year, which they usually are.
But they're 5-7.
5-7, 6-7, whatever it is. When you play Hawaii or Hawaii themselves, you can have an extra game or get a game of leeway. That's what it is. You don't have to
win 6 games.
No.
That stinks. That's why the bowls are a joke.
But T-Foss, and guys, look, let's do this real quick, T-Foss. We'll do the whole bowl education since it's relevant right now. There are a lot of bowl directors that are making $600,000, $800,000, $1 million. The guy that runs the Rose Bowl makes almost $1 million a year in salary.
Yes.
What are you going to do with all those jobs?
Well, the bowls are not a reward for a great season. They're not even reward for a good season. You can be 6-6. What have you accomplished at 6-6? Nothing. If you're 500, that's not a reward. That's just, we want to get fans out of town. We want to get some tourists in who wouldn't normally be here this time of year to bring in money for our city. That's what that's all about.
I'll actually go to the Quick Lane Bowl, though, at 11 a.m. I'm going to go.
I would go if Central was in it.
You don't want to go hate watch Western?
I may go party with the Broncos, but I'm not going to the game. I party with them downtown. We can have brunch.
I love it. I love it, T.
I got my brunch spots downtown, man. I'll have brunch, a little mimosa, and hang out.
And whatnot. What else do we have here? Mike G says PBR is the Mountain Dew of beer. Would you agree with that, Sawyer?
I would agree with it. I always think of the South Park episode whenever I drink a PBR, just I'm white trash and I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
It's kind of just tainted it for me.
I just know Miller is the champagne of beer.
It is the champagne of beers.
It's a Miller High Life going.
Robert Colosa, Neil isn't pro Sparty either, but if you say Oakland, you're onto something. That's pretty funny. Hey, I mean, I'm employed by him. I did go there. 9 drinks. I'll be at Hard Rock Stadium for the Orange Bowl. It's 30 minutes away from me here in South Florida. I am amazed by the viewers that we have. San Diego, Washington, South Florida. They're locked in, T-Foss.
Hey, man, you can get people from around the world on this format.
It is.
You don't need
it's
a
pretty
signal.
cool.
You just need internet access. And that's fine.
Yeah. Peaceful Tim, they need a bigger playoff and leave the Bulls for Division II. Why, Terry, in your estimation, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm curious to get your take. Why isn't there an expanded play? Why can they do this for every other NCAA sport, but they can't do it for Division I football?
Because football is backwards. Look how long it took them to get to a 4-team playoff or a 2-team playoff. 1997, Michigan and Nebraska are clearly the 2 best teams in the nation. They didn't play each other. So it's a backward system, and I think it has to do with they want to protect the bowl system because the bowls make money for the NCAA. The bowls make money for municipalities. The bowls make money for ESPN. And when you expand the playoffs, guess what we're not interested in anymore? The bowls. So it hurts them. That's why. Now, and even when we talk about the bowls, people come up with archaic, stupid scenarios for that. So we can't even agree on that. Here's what you do. I don't want to hear about a 10-team playoff or a 14-team playoff where people get buys because we don't know who the 2 best teams are in the nation. That's the human thing. So just seed them and make everybody play the same amount of games. Make it fair for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess, because the Bulls aren't going anywhere, Terry. They're not, for the reasons I just mentioned. Because you got dudes that are making $1 million to run a bowl game that's been around for 100 years that runs itself at this point. You know why that is. Like, let's be real about it. You know exactly why that is.
I've been to bowls, man. Those dudes are running scams.
Right, exactly. And you know why they have those jobs. Because somewhere along the line, their network.
I will say this. I love the guys who were running the Sun Bowl when I went down there for Michigan State, Stanford. They gave us, in the media, they gave us female escorts. And we hung out all night long. We got drunk. We ate. We saw a woman have sex with a donkey. We were able to bring them back to our rooms.
Wow.
I mean, hey, Sun Bowl, #1. I mean, they know how to work the media. They're working a scam down there.
That's the clip for the day, folks.
And I tell you what else has happened. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. That's okay. My person, we went up to the room afterwards. They had these big things at McDonald's in the hotel lobby. So we go back to the room and everything, and I didn't like her perfume. It was too sweet. It was too tangy. It just gave me the heebie-jeebies. So the best piece of advice I ever got was from Drew Sharp. I called him up and said, "So are you having a good time?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Dude, my babe, I don't like her perfume. I can't stand it." He said, "Oh, just take a shower with her." I'm like, "Okay." Eliminate the perfume. She smelled like Lifebuoy soap, but that was better than the crap that she was wearing. This is the best piece of advice that brother ever gave me.
Where do you go from that? Like, it's a show. Can we just run the credits, Sawyer? Are we done? There's no recovery from that, everybody. For real, where are you going after that? Where are you going after that story?
I don't know. College football playoff rankings came out for the last time.
I've gotten
well, we know one thing: the Sun Bowl's not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And if people try to get rid of it, I'm going to be out there fighting for it.
Oh boy. T. Grizzly Bear, escorts. Peaceful Tim, Terry getting down. Robert, can't wait for this chapter in T. Foss's memoirs.
Is the Sun Bowl in New Mexico or Arizona?
No, it's in El Paso.
Texas, okay.
And I bought me some cowboy boots.
Ooh.
I know. I bought a pair of black ones.
You were feeling yourself down there, weren't you, Terry?
I had a blast. I didn't want to go, first of all.
Did you even cover the game?
I covered it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but more than we know.
Yeah, I covered the game. I didn't want to go. I'd never been to El Paso before. It didn't seem like an
It's right by
place
Mexico.
for me. But, I say if I'm here, I get me some cowboy boots. I got a pair of black ones and snakeskin ones. And I was looking for them like a few months ago. I have no idea where they are.
Did you get a big
I'm
belt
gonna find
buckle?
them one day. I don't wear them to the studio.
Sawyer wants to know, did you get a big belt buckle too?
I didn't do that.
What would he need a belt for? Right,
Yeah,
right,
yes.
Sawyer? What
Yes.
would he need a belt for?
I should have got some chaps.
LOL, Terry is GD hilarious. Slow down, Terry. Damn, Terry digging that hotel. Ho, 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 'tis the season. Man, I need to go to that bowl. T-Foss, legend, in the show. We need T-Foss more. T-Foss for president. Shut it down. Let's go home, everyone.
Although, let me say this. We stayed in a crap hotel in downtown El Paso. I don't know the name. It was like the Roosevelt or just the hotel. It was awful. But, add the human element and it made it tolerable.
Robert, Neil Segway. The Sun Bowl ladies only drink Gypsy Vodka. Gypsy Vodka, way too high class of a product for that. But I will tell you, I will tell you that. Yeah, man.
I threw you off today.
Coast Portland. I can get you a discount at Coast Portland. How about that? They've pursued one mission, a lot like T-Foss, except their job is to make the working professional's job safer and life easier. Today, Coast Lights are a favorite amongst tradesmen and women, outdoor enthusiasts, DIYers, first responders, and more. Go to coastportland.com. Use the code WSN20. Get 20% off your purchase. They stand by their products. They backed them up with a lifetime warranty. Buy them for the whole crew. Sign up with our Coast Crew to take advantage of special discounts, early access to new products, and more. Again, that 20% off code is WSN Portland. CoastPortland.com.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Oh, we're going to attempt to get this one back on the rails, everyone. My name is Neil Rule. I'm standing next to an icon. Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster, Sun Bowl extraordinaire. Was it sponsored by Brute back then, speaking of cologne?
It was not. I know McDonald's had a huge say in it because what they would do is they would deliver like 50 Big Macs in the afternoon and fries, and they were just sitting on this table all day. So the Big Macs were made like at 3 in the afternoon, and you roll in like at 2 a.m. and eat this real cold, soggy Big Mac.
Oh, boy. Daniel Gray, can we do a group trip to the Sun Bowl? Neil, can you get us press passes? I don't know. Easy, our very own Easy here at Woodward Sports. Can I cover the Sun Bowl for Woodward Sports? I'm asking for a friend. I tell you what,
No. Easy got to be with me. If we go there, he's got to hang with me.
Oh, my gosh. Machiavelli Sucks to Go says, is Terry Foster on the wall? And the mural back here on the screen. I do think we need to carve out a space for T-Foss with a Sun Bowl trophy. It superimposed a Sun Bowl trophy in his hand. Lance is gone. I will be watching the Sun Bowl this year. And you know what, T-Foss? I will be too. And Sawyer will be. For no reason.
No, and watch, if they show the writers in the press box, they'll all have smiles on their faces. And people ask, did I cover the game? Yes, I still remember the score. Stanford beat Michigan State 30-0.
That wasn't the Dave Wannstedt one where he lost 3-0, right? That went down in Sun Bowl lore.
Because Ty Willingham was the coach at Stanford.
I've always liked the Sun Bowl for that reason. It has a 3-0 game on its resume, so I think that's impressive.
Game too.
Hey, is it still named the Sun Bowl?
It's probably not. It's probably the.
Oh, it is the Sun Bowl. Okay, it's Washington State and Miami, Florida on New Year's Eve at noon Eastern Time.
Which is what? Yeah, 11 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah,
11 a.m. out that time?
Mm-hmm.
Man, they are squeezing these bowls in, man, wherever they get a chance. But Michigan...
And it is on CBS, if any of you care.
It's always on CBS, man. I love it. I do watch that one every year, and now I'm going to watch it even more for no particular reason.
I'll give you another story about that Sun Bowl. One of the writers went to his room, and there was sheets full of blood. Somebody had been murdered in his room before he checked in.
Terry, you're feeling yourself and you're making this up right now. You're making this up.
I'll tell you who the writer was. You want to know who it was?
Oh, boy.
Ask Pat Caputo. He went to and someone had murdered someone in his bedroom before he checked in. There was blood all over the place.
Oh, my gosh.
I guess we're watching the Sun Bowl this year.
Sun Bowl is where it's at, man. I'm telling you. And the goodie bag of the Sun Bowl is way better than the Rose Bowl. In the Rose Bowl, they just give you a blanket.
What's your goodie bag?
Huh?
What's your goodie bag? You get candy?
I think her name was Tina or something like that. I can't remember. I had a good goodie
Terry,
bag.
are you being honest about this?
No, I am honest to God truth. They gave us escorts. We went to Horace, which is right across the border. We left like at 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon to party and eat. We didn't get back to that hotel till like 2:30 a.m. Man, we were drunk, smelly. We had a good old time.
Oh boy! All right, I'm gonna attempt to reel this one back in. We're not gonna pretend it didn't happen because we're all grateful that story did happen. But at some point, like you do got to bring it back in. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Let's see. I'll try. Jeremy Matson says, outside of Bama, Georgia hasn't beaten a team with less than 4 losses. I'm not afraid of Georgia. They were exposed by Bama with a bad offensive line. They did beat Clemson. Clemson's 9-3. They won at Clemson, by the way.
Everybody exposed by Alabama at some point.
Yeah.
I know Texas A&M beat them this year, but when you look at the totality of what Alabama does, every team is feeling good about themselves. Oh, we got Bama, and their fans are screaming, we want Bama. We want Bama. Then they lose 48-21 or 48-10 or something like that and say, damn, this team got exposed. Everybody gets exposed by Alabama at some point.
Yeah, and people just smelly, in quotes, by Jamie Lowell.
You know what? She wasn't smelly. It was like pungent. It was a pungent smell.
Oh, man. Dom Rivera. Terry is on one today. Certainly you are. Certainly you are, T-Foss. But, no, and, again, just going back to it all, Michigan's got a seat at the table, Terry, and now you got to do something with it. You do. To me, to validate it, beating Iowa doesn't validate anything. And I'm sorry, I've held constant with that all season long. Terry, you and I had that discussion. Iowa was fraudulent. They were just, and I don't want to say they're fraudulent. They were very much Iowa.
How about this? Beating Iowa doesn't validate you, but winning the Big Ten title validates you. You needed that hardware,
right? Which you got once you beat Ohio State. Once you did.
But I still say what Michigan does now is gravy, unless you get mollywopped by Georgia. Just don't lose 48-10 or something stupid like that. Make it a competitive football game. And I got no beef with you.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm being told about how Georgia's exposed. Georgia didn't play anybody who won at Clemson, by the way.
But you have to understand, these are people saying that who don't want to play Georgia. Yeah, Georgia
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around that,
Georgia
T-Foss.
sucks, but we don't want to play them. because people are willing to say anything to get what they want. All they want is a number 1 seed for Michigan, and they want to play Cincinnati. That's all they want. And within that, they'll say Alabama stinks, Georgia stinks, but we don't want to play them. That's what's going on here.
Fletch Lives Daily says, Neil, Michigan doesn't need to validate anything at this point. We're just a seat at the table, and we have a chance. If you don't do anything with this opportunity, though, Terry, it was just the 1 year that you beat Ohio State. The 1 year. To me, the stakes are huge. The stakes are huge. I know, but the stakes are huge here, Terry, because if you don't do anything with this chance, then it was just a down year in the Big Ten in the year that Ohio State took a step back. Because that's all we heard, right, was how vulnerable Ohio State was and all that stuff. That's what we heard. So, I mean, for me, this is the new era. And I know it's been a long time since Michigan's been involved with this kind of stuff, as far as national championships and those kinds of things, and 2 decades since they won the Big Ten. And I'm not saying that to be critical or negative or anything like that. I'm saying things have changed, Terry, since Michigan's last been involved with this. It's an all or nothing proposition now. That's what it is. We're talking about the Rose Bowl, Terry. What's a Rose Bowl now? What is it, really? If it's not one of the playoff games, what is it?
It's like the Peach Bowl, man.
That's exactly what it is. Things have changed. This is all or nothing. This is all the chips in the middle of the table. And if you don't get it done, what'd you do? You beat Ohio State once.
But, yes, you beat Ohio State once, but this takes a huge load off of a fan base. When I was covering Michigan I used to be the Michigan beat writer back in the day, and all I heard is win the Big Ten and beat Ohio State. That's it. And Michigan State wasn't respected. They're crap. Purdue was crap. Iowa was crap. Northwestern was crap. So that was the goal every year. So now you've got this championship playoff, and if you beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten, you get to participate in it. But I am one of those people. I don't think Michigan is like year in and year out an elite program. It's not Alabama, it's not Georgia, it's not LSU. It's that second tier of teams like Auburn, USC now. USC, they still think they're big boys now. That's why they got my man from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They want to be at the big boy table.
Juices Ghost says, so now this year's a wash unless we beat 2 top SEC teams. LOL. Okay. Nationally, yes, Terry. Nationally, what will be the perception nationally? Are you a national power for winning the Big Ten if you come in and lose?
If you get your ass kicked, then you are a joke. If you lose by 4 touchdowns, what does happen in the playoff, then yes, you are a joke. But if Michigan plays Georgia, let's say they lose 27-24, I think the narrative will be, okay, they're at the big boys table. They got themselves some turkey. They got some dessert. They didn't get the whole thing, but I think they will be respected.
Okay, I mean, now we're getting into semantics about a score, but that's the point of all this, though, Terry. This is for everything. This is winner take all. Nationally, in the South, out west, all that stuff. Do you think they value a Big Ten championship in the national perspective? Do you think they value a Big Ten championship?
No, they don't respect the Big Ten. They think the Big Ten is a joke. But if Michigan scares the hell out of Georgia, they're going to say, okay, all right, maybe they're a little bit closer than they think. I'm sure if you go down south, they're expecting Michigan to be down 35-0 at the half. I'm telling you that won't happen. And I'm telling you this, if Michigan plays a competitive game, and, it's a real football game. When I talk about a real football game, I'm talking about a game where you don't know who's going to win in the last quarter or last half or something like that. If it's already been decided, that's not a real football game. What Michigan, in my mind, all they have to do is go play Georgia, make it a competitive game, maybe, scare the hell out of them. And I think that validates them. May not validate the Southern old boys. Hey, what the Roll Tide? No, nobody can compete with us. But in my mind, it would validate them, because I had this belief. Any Big Ten team that plays in the Final Four, except Ohio State, when they play those teams in a playoff situation, they're going to get spanked up and down the field. Now, if Michigan goes down and doesn't do that, then, hey, I'm going to stand back.
Steve Shattuck says, way to set the potential narrative. I'm not setting the potential narrative. I'm talking about the national view of Michigan and an IE following that up with the Big Ten. Again, everything is different now than it was back then. Everything is different. Mm-hmm. Everything is on the line. Even if you're Georgia. If you're Georgia, you don't cash in the national title, season's a failure. You didn't win the SEC.
What is Georgia considered? Georgia has had some very good seasons, but what do they consider? What's that one word, starts with a C, the chokers? That's
Georgia gonna Georgia, right, Sawyer? Mm-hmm. Like that you and I were texting about that. Georgia gonna Georgia, because that's what they do. For a long time, I said Georgia and Michigan were mirror images of each other.
Right.
Throughout the last 2 decades.
So Michigan fans won't feel this way, but if I'm Michigan, man, so if you beat Cincinnati, who the hell cares? Beat Georgia, who's got a reputation, who might choke a little bit, you might be able to get that win.
Yeah, and I do. I want to continue this discussion when we get back, because I'm curious to get people's and look, you guys are making your thoughts known, and that's cool. And I'm not hating, but my point is, for Michigan, this is the chair in the game now. Where you talked about, you got a chair. This is a winner take all thing. There is no prize money for second or third or fourth or anything like that. These are the waters you're swimming in. And yes, when you get a shot at it, you got to validate it, because what's Michigan's fans' take on Michigan State when they went to the playoff?
Oh, they laughed at them. But right? Why? Because they got mollywopped. If Michigan State had played toe-to-toe with Alabama, nobody would be laughing at Michigan State. But they went down there and
got a donut on the board.
Yeah, after the first half, man, they soiled the pants. That's why we laugh at Michigan State, because they just got hammered.
Yeah.
If Michigan State had lost 48-46 or something like that, we wouldn't be laughing at them. We're like, okay, legit.
Big Ten champions, you can't take that away no matter how much you hate. Again, it's not hate, and that is the case. And locally, the storm has calmed on Harbaugh and everything about that. And I know the Michigan fans are happy with the Big Ten championship. And that's fine. But for the national perspective to change, you got to do something. And T-Foss, look, I'm not expecting you to repeat that story. But tell me about some Gypsy Vodka, though, T-Foss. Gypsy Vodka wasn't in play in El Paso.
No, I wish I had the Gypsy Vodka. I probably wouldn't have been so hung over that day. But look, folks, here's what I'm saying. Support the local people here in Michigan. Gypsy Vodka is delicious. It's great tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. You don't want to drink that vodka and then your throat is all scratchy and everything. You want it to go down smooth as silk. Gypsy is gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. I love that. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by name, Gypsy Vodka. This is great vodka. It's Michigan vodka. And also, got to warn you, always drink responsibly. Gypsy Vodka. Mm-hmm.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuffer Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuffer Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho!
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Moving towards that second hour of the show here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule, the El Paso legend. T-Foss, Terry Foster in the house. Fish is in the bowl. Sawyer is in the production booth as well. But we are talking Michigan. And, they need to do something, Terry. Or else, nationally, that's what they're viewed. And look,
do they need one win, or do they have to win it all to be validated?
I think if you're a fan, right, you're like, you want it all. Do you want to square up with Alabama? I mean, I would think you do, right? I would think you do. If you believe in this team the way that a lot of people have talked about, the Aiden Hutchinson and all that stuff, and Ajabo and all the guys, and by the way, Donovan Edwards is a problem. That guy is a freak, man.
That's right.
Donovan Edwards is going to be nice. Not for a long time, because I think he'll be going to the NFL after 2 seasons. But Donovan Edwards is nice, and we'll have time to talk about all that.
Yes,
I'm just talking about like from a perception, national perception perspective. All the chips are in the middle of the table, and to me, you got to win to cash this thing in.
You know what I say to them? National people, screw them. I don't care what they think, because they don't know everything that goes on here in Michigan. They don't know everything that goes on with the Big Ten. It's like a side glance, and so I could give a damn what they think. Now, here's what I care about. I don't think the Michigan fans, the ones that are still celebrating that victory over Ohio State, I don't think they're going to look at a Georgia loss. Let's say they lose by 3 points and say, you know what, Michigan sucks. I want Harbaugh fired. What the hell is going on here? No. They'll say, you know what? Great season, valid effort by the fellas. That's who I care about.
Yeah, and if the team's historic though, T-Foss, then you gotta win some of these games, man. You do.
But this is their first time. You don't have to win the first time. Be competitive.
Be competitive. All right. No, but it's interesting. There are some people. Am I crazy? I don't care what the national media thinks. I mean, I get what you're saying when you say that, but in order to be valued, you have to win at some point. In order to get the proper credit that a lot of people believe this football team is. Why are they scared, Terry? Like, why are that's like the, and I'm not saying this to be hating or anything. I'm validly asking this question, Terry.
They're
like,
scared.
why are you scared to be great?
They're scared because in the back of their mind, they know the SEC is king. Now,
see, but people are on here talking about how I think nationally the Big Ten's perceived the same as the SEC. I don't think that.
That is false. Now, from the bottom of the Big Ten, people always bring up Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is awful, but Vanderbilt is never going to play in a national championship game. Vanderbilt is never going to beat Alabama again until Nick Saban is 6 feet under. So, the SEC has some bad teams, but at the top, Alabama, Georgia, and most years LSU, who won a national title 2 years ago, untouchable.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's different for me. Like, I just have a different value system where, and part of this has been created by the college football playoff. The NCAA basketball tournament's the same way. The NCAA basketball tournament's a little different because the Final Fours are valued. If you rack up a couple of them, then people say, all right, you're a factor. Because once you get down to the Final Four in basketball, the teams are usually pretty much.
Why isn't it the same for football?
I probably because they play it out on the field. Like, it's not determined by somebody's thoughts. And I know there's like a selection committee.
But in basketball, Tom Izzo, what's he, 1-7?
But he
in
got
the Final Four?
Yeah, but he cashed one championship in.
Okay, so
he cashed one in.
Because he cashed one in, then we just leave him alone.
But I think there's some. Okay, what do Michigan fans always talk about when they bring up Tom Izzo, though? Like when basketball season rolls around, what do Michigan fans always bring up about him?
They always bring up this crap. Every time Michigan beats Michigan State, hey, we're caught up with Michigan State. And then, no, you haven't. They bring up he's only won one national title.
That's what they always bring up, right?
Right.
So, I mean...
but if Michigan loses to Georgia, it doesn't mean they can't go to the Final Four again at some point? They can't win the Big Ten and beat Ohio State at some point? Let's say they go there 4 times and only won 1 game. Are you going to hate on them then? You going to hate on them?
No, I'm not hating on them, T-Foss. I'm just saying dare to be great.
Yeah, but to be great, you have to be great.
So they're not great.
I don't think they're great yet. I think this is a very good team. I think the SEC has fallen a little bit.
But T-Foss, this plays into exactly what I'm saying, because what did I say about Alabama earlier this year? When they steamrolled Georgia in this game, they lost 7 top 2-round draft picks to the NFL on offense. You know how there's only like 11 offensive positions? They lost 7 of them to the top 2 rounds of the NFL draft. And what'd they do this year? They cooked Georgia. And that's my thing, too. Like with Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson's going very, very high in the NFL draft, probably in the top 3.
Should go to the Detroit Lions, but I don't wish that on the brother.
Ojabo is probably going to be a first-round draft pick, right?
Yes.
I mean, you're going to lose some key pieces to it. Are you going to be able to come back? And look, people aren't comfortable with me using the word validate. That's fine. Like you don't have to validate the Big Ten championship. In Big Ten circles, you're right. You don't. You won it. You don't. But dare to be great. And then even into next year, replace those pieces. Bring your next top 5 draft pick in. The same way that Alabama's doing it. The same way even that Georgia does it.
I got a little secret for you. In Alabama, SEC, and Ohio State, just my opinion, I think they're playing by different rules recruiting. Michigan recruits well, for the most part. But Michigan can't compete with Alabama as far as bringing in raw talent. All those players are going to go to Nick Saban. He has the big party for him. And, there's something going on there. And I got to go on I got to stay at Ohio State for a weekend. And they showed me around and gave me an idea of what football recruits go through, what their weekend is like and where they go. And after seeing that, I was thinking this. If my decision is between Ohio State and Michigan State, and I'm trying to decide, there's no way I'm going to these other schools when I just saw what I saw with Ohio State. They're just playing, I think, by different rules.
Yeah, and we've talked about that in the past, too, you and I have, that there's a different universe attached with certain places, like in Alabama, like a Georgia, like a Clemson, like in Ohio State. There's a different universe around, and we've had that discussion before, and I'm sure as the days roll on, we'll talk about it again. That's just my point with all this, just the dare to be great. Dare to be great. And for me, and somebody on here said, losing 7 NFL players is easy when you have 100 on your roster. Well, then you're not at that level then, right?
That is correct. You're not at that level.
Okay.
You have to play.
So why label the hater for saying I expect you to get to that level? So
Eventually.
That can't be done at Michigan? Is that what it is?
It can be, but it's not going to be right away. This is their first time at the seat, and maybe they may have a shot this year because I think the SEC is a little bit lower than it was before, maybe because of the quarterback and maybe because the talent isn't as great as it is year after year. But what I fear is when the SEC goes back up to where it was before, can you compete with them next time? This is a great opportunity to scare the hell out of Georgia. This is a great opportunity to try to scare the hell out of Alabama. Although when they really have to show out, that's what they do. And I think part of it is those players are great. Those players don't want to face Nick Saban after making huge mistakes, after losing a game. Is Michigan ever going to be able to duplicate Nick Saban on the coaching level?
They got a hell of a challenge.
The answer to that is no.
Yeah, they got a hell of a challenge to do it. Chris Sharp says, compare both teams' losses, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Michigan to MSU. I just don't understand why we're getting caught up in this. You're in. There's a seat at the table. To quote Drake, we gonna see. Because we are going to see.
That's right. Alabama beat Georgia, then you beat Georgia. Simple as that. And here's the other thing, and they're bringing up Michigan State. Now, what I heard after the Michigan State game, after they beat you, Michigan State sucks. So now they're great again.
Well, it depends on what narrative you got to fit.
Right. After you beat Michigan State, it was because of the refs, and you're the better team. You got screwed. Now, don't tell me today Michigan State is a great team, because after you lost to them, the Spartans still sucked. So don't tell me today they're great.
Benjamin Foe on our YouTube chat thread brings up a good one, and I had thought about this, and then I forgot about it, but I'm glad he reminded me. This is a good chance to steal SEC recruits. That's why this is big. That's another reason why this is big. You want to get on that level to where you have 100 NFL players on your roster too? You can't come out. You can't come out and lose.
Okay, where are the recruits?
You can't. This is my point about all this. This is for keeps. This is where perceptions are developed. It's only started. Like this Big Ten, I know you got your Big Ten championship T-shirt, and that's cool, and everyone's feeling good and everything like that. I get that. I understand that. I'm not disrespecting that. You won the Big Ten, and you deserved it, and you did everything necessary to earn it. You earned it. But this is different. This is different. This is where you want to be. This is where you want to go. Then this is what you have to do. And do you have to win to validate your Big Ten championship T-shirt? No, you don't have to. But if you want to be a factor and you want to stand up there with the Alabamas and the Georgias, then guess what you got to do? And it doesn't matter. You want to compare losses and things like that? No, you got to go through the teeth of them. Do you want that smoke? Do you want that smoke?
Where are the recruits in this nation?
In the South.
In the South. I am the number 1 or number 2 guy in the South, in Florida. Let's say it's Florida. I'm not going to Michigan. If I'm the number 4 or number 5 guy, I might. But if Alabama's after me, if Florida's after me, if LSU is after me, I'm going down there. I'm going that side. I'm not coming up here to the cold. So I don't care if Michigan does beat Georgia. I don't think it's going to change the narrative as far as recruiting is concerned, because one, they want comfort. They like playing in warm weather because they're used to the warm weather. I'll come up north if I'm the number 6 or number 7 guy, and Alabama sort of wants me but doesn't really want me. I may come up north if I'm the number 100 guy in the South, and I'll come and play for Western Michigan or Central Michigan. I'll do that.
Which they do. A lot of those third-tier Florida guys end up at Western or Central, and that's when that's why the MAC teams pop up. If you want to start a new career in an industry that's always essential, the heating and cooling industry. And look, guys, that's a career that travels. If you want to be in the South, you want to be in the North, it doesn't matter. Heating and cooling is here. It's here to stay. It's a poppin' industry, and it's a rock-solid career to be in. And you can learn more on how to get involved and start a new career in heating and cooling by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Second hour of the show rolls on. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, my guy T-Foss in for D-Mac, who's a little under the weather. Joik will be back tomorrow as well. Fish in the bowl. He's buzzing about the CFL. The Grey Cup finals are set in Hamilton. Fish, Hamilton, home field, Grey Cup.
Oh-wee.
Ooh-wee. Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Rematch of 2019.
Oh, of course it is.
Fish, I know we have a disconnect with some of the fringe sports, but you'll be proud of me. You know what I looked at the other day?
CFL?
No.
Oh.
Iraq versus Bahrain.
Ooh.
I think soccer.
Oh, in like the Arab Cup? Okay.
Yeah, for the Arab Cup.
Was it good? Did you enjoy it?
It was cool.
Oh, okay.
I only watch soccer when countries are playing each other. Other than that, not a big fan.
See, T-Foss, I want to correct this. Daniel Gray says Neil's going to be on suicide watch if Michigan wins it all. Why? If you do that, who could hate on that, T-Foss?
My wife.
Who can hate on that if you go in to the playoff and you beat Georgia and you beat Alabama, who has the best player in the nation at quarterback? How could anyone hate on that?
Dude, where do we live? We live in Michigan. Michigan is divided. There's the Wolverines and there's the Spartans. Let me just talk about my little family. My family hates the fact that Michigan is in the Final Four. They hate the fact that they got, seated in there because they could always throw this up at Michigan fans. We've been to the college playoffs. You haven't. Okay? Now, if Michigan not only goes there and then wins it all, the Spartans in this state will be on suicide watch. They'll be like, damn. Not only did they go there, now they won the damn thing. Screw them. Because to Michigan State fans, Michigan is Marsha, the prettiest girl, gets all the breaks, always one-ups us at one time, at some point. So they will hate that fact.
Yeah, and I'm not being a hater with it. I've always said this: Charles Woodson's a top 3 college football player of all time. Mm-hmm. One of the greatest football players of all time. He got a gold jacket too.
He does,
and he may be the most dynamic college football player of all time. I've always said the top 3 players ever to play in college football were Charles Woodson, Barry Sanders, and Marshall Faulk.
Can't argue with you on that.
Yeah, I mean those guys were incredible. And look, it's not hate. I just value things differently, I guess. The Big Ten is cool. You want to feel good about it. That helps in your argument in the Foster household or wherever you guys are, where maybe your wife went to Michigan State and you went to Michigan or vice versa. That helps with that argument and everything like that. But I want it all, Terry. Like the teams that I root for, that are all on an equal playing field, I want it all.
You're not rooting for Michigan.
Am I rooting for Michigan?
Yes.
If they win, T-Foss, how can you not be impressed?
You're not gonna chop your head off.
Right? No, I'm not.
But you're not going to go out and celebrate either, and drink.
I'm not going to knock the cars over and stuff like that. But I have a ton of friends who are Michigan fans that I'll be happy for. There's a lot of Michigan fans that I'm friends with that Terry and I texted them and I said, hey, I'm happy for you. I know what you've put into this. Okay. I know what you've put into being a Michigan fan, and I respect that. And you got your payoff, and I'm happy for it because I want people to be happy. T-Foss, I do. That's all I want.
Okay.
I just want everyone to be happy.
God bless you.
I'm not going to be on suicide watch or anything like that. I don't understand how I get this label because I question not winning a conference title for almost 2 decades.
You're not supposed to challenge the blue wall, brother. You should know that by now. If you question it at any point, then you get blasted. It's blasphemy.
Yeah, it's just I value winning championships. I do. And the Big Ten as a whole, they haven't won one in basketball since 2001, right?
Correct.
2 decades?
Yeah.
Ohio State got one in football. And before that, Michigan got half of one in 97. Like, that's what it is.
I know.
I value championships, Terry.
I will say this. They should have won the national championship in a whole.
I wish they could have played each other.
No. Nebraska lost the game that year, but the officials overturned it. Nebraska got a 5th down and were eliminated, but then they got the 5th down and then won the game. So I say Michigan won the title in 97.
Be the change you wish to see. Reggie Bush was not. Yeah, Reggie Bush was appointment viewing too. I always made sure I turned that on. Rule breaker. Jump on this Mason Blue Love train and enjoy the ride from Mike G. Hey, if they do it, you have to respect them and you have to give them credit because they went through the teeth of it. That's why, and we're gonna see. We are gonna see. We watched some NFL football yesterday too, Terry, across the NFL, and we'll talk about the Lions coming up in just a few minutes. We'll break that down a little bit more, but we always like to do this, just kind of go around the NFL. Anything that jumped out to you, Terry?
I think the jump out to me was watching the Chiefs dismantle the Broncos.
Defensively choked them out.
Yeah, it wasn't all these high flying stuff from Patrick Mahomes. That was defense. Every time the Broncos got on the field, I swear it was a 3-and-out. It wasn't, but it just seemed that way. Like they were on the field for like 10 minutes during the whole game. I was impressed by that.
Yeah, you know what really caught my eye was the way that the Cardinals went. And I know it's Chicago, and I know it's Nagy, Matt Nagy. These coaches in the NFL, in the NFC North.
We got some bad coaches in this. Yeah. There's some bad coaches
between
in this
Zimmer
division.
and Nagy. And Dan Campbell certainly had his struggles. There's some bad coaches in there. But
Dan Campbell's not even the worst coach in this division.
No. And
That tells you how
I
bad
think
it
by
is.
far.
No.
By far, he's not the worst coach.
No.
But the way the Cardinals went into Chicago, and I know it's Chicago, but what's been the narrative on the Cardinals? Winning games after Thanksgiving, then winning the games on the road. And they did it. They went up north.
Yeah, and then it's cold.
And Kyler Murray came back and didn't miss a beat, man. And they choked the Bears out. And I just... there's almost like a Michigan quality to the Cardinals this year for me, where I suspect it, but I can't bring myself to believe it until I see it. You know what I'm saying? Then ultimately you saw it with Michigan when they beat Ohio State. I feel that way with the Cardinals. Like I want to buy in so bad, but I just can't bring myself to do it.
They're Cardinals for a reason because they lay eggs now and then, and I've seen them lay eggs against the Lions. Just sometimes they're not real. I mean, they can have a real nice record. When push comes to shove, they're not real. But you know what? That's going to be the great thing about the playoffs this year. Are the Cardinals real? We'll get to see it. Are the Rams fake? We'll get to see it. Can Tampa bounce back? We'll get to see it. There's so many narratives in the NFL for the playoffs. I am intrigued.
Do you like that? How they added a spot to it? You think it's too much? And for me, like as I was watching these games, and they would put the playoff chase, that little graphic that they do up on there. The Carolina Panthers were quote in the hunt and things like that.
Oh, wait a minute! The Lions weren't eliminated until yesterday.
That's right.
They were still in it technically.
When the Jets lost, right? That was the final nail in the coffin. Mm-hmm. Well, and you guys saw it on social media. They had that big graphic where the 1,034 different things had to happen. They did get through like 6 or 7 of them, which was pretty impressive. But yeah, they are officially out. What I do like too, Sawyer, is the 0-0 for the Texans against double. I'm a fan of 0-0. Should be on every scoreboard. I'm not saying you put 31-07, like you just put 31-7, but I think you should put 31-00. I think the TV network should roll with that.
Why? You just like seeing it?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why. It's
I don't
like
either.
It's like when my kids watch a YouTube video of stuff getting crushed, like over and over again, and they just keep watching it. I get the satisfying.
Dude, if you want 00, then you have to accept 07 or 03 or 09. That has to be part of the equation.
See, I don't think so. T-Foss, I don't like.
You got to
20
to take
to
it all the way.
09. I don't dig, but the 31-00, I do dig.
I'm just saying you got to take it off. The 1-0 doesn't leave until you score 10.
I guess I'll make the decision then, Terry. If you're going to put it to those terms, then I'll just go to the 0 then.
Okay.
Oh, by the way,
Good.
Tua won another game yesterday.
Yeah. And was talking trash before the game. He said,
He wins football. I know everybody hates him.
Mm-hmm.
I know they do. But he wins more than he loses. Somehow, some way.
That's true.
So, quick little NFL quickie, I guess you would say, T-Foss. Not like El Paso, but, just a little NFL quickie.
I wish you were there.
That T-Foss, look, I like having a good time. I do. But that was a little much for me, even, T-Foss.
Okay,
that was a little much for me.
I'm sorry that I tainted you. I probably ruined you, and you never look at me the same.
No, T-Foss, that's you though. That's your identity. Myron Kidd says I hate it that the number 2 seed can't get a week off because now only the number 1 seed gets the bye.
Yeah, but we got to have our football. Too bad.
We do, and you got to get more teams on the quote in the hunt graphic. Canuck Duke says Dolphins on a streak. Yeah, Tua, man. Everybody always sells him up the river all the time, but he just keeps winning football games. But hey, what does that matter, right? I guess you got to look good doing it.
That's true. But Tua went through what every rookie quarterback goes. We looked at his rookie year, and he didn't do well. If you look at quarterbacks in the National Football League, no matter how great they are, they normally throw more interceptions than they have touchdown passes their rookie year.
Right.
It's how they rebound from there. And even the Miami Dolphins gave up on him. They wanted to bring in Deshaun Watson, get him out of jail, and bring him in at quarterback. I mean, you're dissed by your own organization. So this is not just other people talking about Tua and everything. The people that he worked for doubted him.
Yeah, and on our YouTube chat thread, no one's ever won the Super Bowl with a quarterback who wasn't tall enough to go on all the rides at Disney, so I don't trust the Cardinals. There's always that Kyler Murray slander out there every time you start talking about football. Jerry Benson, did the Lions win yesterday? Yes, we're going to talk about it when we come back. Patty Grimes, Cardinals win the division over the Rams, like I said before the season. That's a good call by you. That is a very, very good call by you. And guys, look, let's be honest. We like simple stuff. This guy sitting right here in this chair is probably the simplest. I like things to be as easy as possible. I want them to be uncomplicated, just like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, boom, you're handsome and clean. You won't even have to wear the Lions Restore the Roar hat over that messed up mop of hair that you have, because it'll be straight. Everything will be lined up. You'll be looking good. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Well, first thing I'm going to start with, this game ball goes to the whole Oxford community. All those were affected. And that being said, man, I want us to not forget these names: Madison Baldwin, Hannah St. Juliana, Justin Schilling, Tate Myre, Phoebe Arthur, John Asciutto, Riley France, Elijah Mueller, Kylie Osigi, Aiden Watson, and Molly Darnell, who's a teacher. Those names, for all those, will never be forgotten, and they're in our hearts and our prayers, and all the families, and not to mention all those that were affected by all of this. The classmates, the brothers and sisters, the cousins, the teachers, everybody, coaches.
And very, very cool there by Dan Campbell to do that and to bring the names up, because T-Foss, that's what I always said. You have to keep bringing this up because something's got to be done about it. And we had that discussion certainly on Monday. But the Lions do get the win, 29-27, their first win. And T-Foss was upset by people like Stick popping bottles and things like that. And look, T-Foss, even me, who's riding the Draft Capital train, the Draft Capital Express, the DCE, when it happened, I was, again, people were excited and things like that, and I get it, T-Foss, I do. I know you don't, but I do.
I don't. Tell me why. Why did they celebrate that one victory?
And here's where, again, I'm going to contradict myself, I guess, T-Foss. But, hey, I'm a human being. We do these things. We laugh at, the people that put the engine block on their head when they've gone 364 days without winning a game and things like that. But, again, I'm not a hater. Michigan fans disagree, but I'm not a hater. If he wants to put that much emotion into it, then live your best life, man. If you want to be happy because they won, then be happy because you won, because the Lions won. It's the one thing that they want more than anything in the world is for their football team to win. So, with all that being said, now we have to lock in the rest of the way. We can't have any more slip-ups like we had yesterday.
Here we go.
I gave it to you guys, and look, I wanted this. We have to protect that at all costs. I wanted this to come down. I wanted this mathematically clinched by the last game against Green Bay, and then I wanted the Lions to beat the Packers. Maybe the Packers were playing with nothing on the line, but the new playoff format suggests that won't happen anymore. I think that's another reason why they added the playoff team and only one bye, because it keeps the juices flowing. But with all that being said, I wanted this locked up mathematically. It's not. We cannot have any more slip-ups, T-Foss. Now, fortunately, Mike Zimmer's no longer on the schedule, and I knew he was a danger. I knew he was, and he proved out to be. I'll never understand what he was doing before the half. I'll never understand that. And I'll never understand why the Vikings keep him as a coach. But whatever, that's Minnesota's problem. That's not our problem. My big takeaway from the game, though, T-Foss, and this is what I've said all season long, Amon-Ra St. Brown, a fourth-round draft pick, makes the catch, has 10 catches for 86 yards, wins the game by making the touchdown reception in the end zone. That's draft capital. That's a guy that Brad Holmes brought in, that he drafted. When was the last time we saw a fourth-round draft pick come in and win a game, T-Foss? I'm not saying he specifically won the game, but made the play. This is a league of making plays.
How about this one? When was the last time we saw a fourth-round draft pick make the roster?
Or, even be in the box score.
Right.
That's my whole thing. You're seeing on the YouTube channel right now, the 2021 draft, and they're a factor. They're making things happen. Anzarike and Aleem McNeil were very good yesterday. Very good. And in and above that, T-Foss, they were there on the field. They played. Right. They're in the box score. That's my hope, T-Foss.
Okay.
That's my hope.
Right,
so far, the early
hope.
returns are Brad Holmes is as advertised. The early returns, I get it, but we got nothing else to go on.
All right. Here's my take on it. The Detroit Lions give these fans nothing. And these fans are so loyal. And for me, all the Lions deserved yesterday was a golf clap. The fact that you're screaming and jumping up and down, so happy. Your team is still 1-10-1. Your team has no shot at the playoffs. Your team is mismanaged by Dan Campbell. And I just don't get the love for this team. They don't love you back. They're an embarrassment. And every year, and these fans, they love this team in April and May and during training camp. And by October and November, they're so pissed off. Like, you let me down again. What do you expect? That's what the Lions do. But you keep falling for the fake every year. And I thought yesterday we looked small town. We looked Bush League. This wasn't Detroit. This was Paducah, Kentucky. Our team won a football game.
And look, I can understand where you're coming from, but again, the people that put so much emotion into it, they got their moment, and that's fine with me as long as it doesn't happen again. Because for me, it all goes back to the draft capital thing, and I'll keep saying it. I've been saying it all year. I said it today. I'll say it tomorrow whenever we talk about the Lions. That's how it's going to be. What about this one here? Tony Pasta says, Terry Foster is a hater. He said nothing good about Detroit sports since 1984.
That's a lie. It's a bald-faced lie. The only organization I get on is the Detroit Lions. Now, I've praised the Wings up and down the road, okay? I've said great things about the Pistons. I've praised the Tigers for their World Series runs to exhaustion. The only team that I cannot stand in this city is the Lions, because they're abusive to you and you don't even realize it. So don't give me this crap. I've never said anything good about any franchise since '84. That's a bald-faced lie. The guy knows it's a damn lie. He's pissed because I'm not kissing the Lions' ass. That's why he's mad. And that's why people are mad at me today. Because I don't fall for this foolishness. And you know what? Here's my flaw. I think that the sports fans in this town should be more mature, should be smarter, and they should realize what's going on in this town, and they don't. And I understand, being a fan is fanatic. You don't see things clearly a lot of times, but y'all are you're being raped by the Lions and don't even see it.
Miki Lum-Phelps said, we needed one win, we got it, can't be zero, still on track for the number one pick, and that's exactly where my stance is. Tactile Puma 58 says, if a higher draft pick correlated to success, we would have won a few Super Bowls. Well, I would say to you, Tactile Puma, where when they've had those high picks, they've hit on them. Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson, and Ndamukong Suh. That just goes to show you how bad the rest of it's been, which is even more fuel to what I talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown and what he did. And we saw plays really being made up and down by draft picks. I think Rack brought up Derek Barnes' play that he made defensively in the game. This is how you win. This is how the Patriots were good. This is how the Chiefs won a Super Bowl. This is how the 49ers went to their Super Bowl when Harbaugh was the coach. That's how you see it done. 4th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd round draft picks that contribute, that are factors, and you keep it flowing. You keep it flowing. And I am, believe it or not, as a guy that sits here behind this microphone and clamors for losses because he wants draft capital, even as I do that, I say that because I'm very high on Brad Holmes. He is the by far and away the most important person in the Lions organization. We can talk about Dan Campbell and some of the coaching shortcomings and stuff
Holmes
like that.
Is the guy.
Holmes is it, man, because Terry Foss, you know this. If the coach is the problem, poof, you go get yourself a new coach. Because we saw that with the Browns. I forget who their coach was a couple years ago that was a clown. They replace him. The next year they win a playoff game in Pittsburgh. They take the Chiefs to the wire. You know what I'm saying? Like the coach can be changed out right quick.
Right.
The GM, however, holds the keys to the car for many, many years, and the early returns are good. And we saw that pay off a little bit yesterday.
Right. And let me address the idiot again who says I haven't said anything nice about Detroit sports. I said early on, I believe in Brad Holmes. I believe this guy is going to do it the right way. I believe he knows what he's doing. From people I talked to in the league say Brad Holmes is the real deal. And I still stand by that. But he showed that he's going to try to build it the right way. His philosophy is build it inside out. So that's why he got a bunch of defensive tackles, offensive linemen, because he's going to be allowed to build this the right way. Now, he could have just brought in a bunch of flashy receivers and stuff, but the base of your team is not built. But he's going to do it the right way. I believe in Brad Holmes. I don't believe in the Lions coach. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. The dude makes too many mistakes for me to believe in Dan Campbell. I think if this team is going to take the next step, it's going to have to be with another coach.
Right, but we can't do it all, Terry. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't rebuild this roster in one draft. You can't fully see what you have with the coach, although the early returns are certainly not good in what we saw in terms of play calling, because he is calling the plays. But we have time for that, Terry. We do. We have time for that. And D-Mac's little tracker, we're moving up. I think we're past, the third poll now, or getting to the third poll. Like, it's happening quickly, T-Foss. It is. And, again, you're going to need a minimum of 2 drafts, especially stocked with the 3 picks, in the first 2 rounds.
You need 3 drafts, brother.
Yeah, a minimum of 2, unless you really knock it out of the park. And I will say this. We talked about that draft class, man. I wasn't expecting that rate of return. Like, usually you got to hit about half. You'd say
that works. That can get you on the board.
That gets you on the board if you hit half. They're pretty much all contributing.
They are. But the Lions in the past were missing on second-round picks.
Right.
That's dangerous. That's why this team is so bad. They were missing on second-round picks.
Right. And, Freddie Kitchens, everyone's telling me that's right. Freddie, what a disaster that dude was. He was single-handedly losing games for the Cleveland Browns. They switched the coach, boom. They win a playoff game in Pittsburgh. That would be equivalent to the Lions going into Green Bay and winning a playoff game. Would it not?
It would be.
Yeah, it would be similar. We'll take a look at all the New Year's Six Bowl matchups when we come back. Got to touch on the Red Wings as well. They may never lose again. This whole town may never lose again, Terry.
The Wings will lose a game.
Oh.
And I was talking this about Big Mac. I'm not Big Mac. His name is D-Mac. That the Wings, I like what they're doing now, but at some point there's going to be some stagnation, or there's going to be a week, or there's going to be a period where they're going to fall back down to earth, and then the key is to build back from that fall, because I think they're going to end up winning a championship at some point. But when you're a championship game team, for the most part, there's always a period where you look back and say, we thought we were there, but we weren't. We learned from that, and then we came back and rose from the ashes. I think we're going to have to fight through watching the Wings do that at some point. Don't know when it's coming, but it's going to come.
We'll be back with more Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. He's T. Foss, Terry Foster, in for D-Mac, who's under the weather. Joik Bell will be back in the house tomorrow as well. Fish in the bowl, buzzing about the Canadian Football League. Grey Cup that's lined up in Hamilton. I'm just happy they're not playing it in a dome, Fish.
Well, the only dome is BC.
Right. It's weak when they play the Grey Cup in a dome.
And that's not really a dome. Doesn't the cold air still go through somehow? It's kind of like the SoFi Stadium where they still have lightning and thunder in a dome.
Yeah, I don't know. It just and it has to snow for the Grey Cup. Like, it has to.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to, so.
Oh, don't tell me that, Fish.
Who's in the Grey Cup?
Tiger Cats and the Blue Bombers. It's going to be a great game. Everyone should be. It's on ESPN 2 as well. They bumped it up.
Check the secondary ticket market for that too.
Because
I consider going. I did. My son actually.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Well, guess who's going to the Grey Cup?
You are?
I am going to the Grey Cup.
Let's go,
I had to, yeah. I had to. It's Hamilton. It's not far away. They haven't hosted in like 20 years as well.
For those of you that are watching on YouTube right now, if you like the Sun Bowl and you like Terry Foster's Sun Bowl story, hit the like button too. Like for the Sun Bowl, as easy
I have toured
said.
Hamilton.
Ooh, you have?
I was there for the World Basketball Championships. We're in Hamilton and Toronto.
Okay.
I'm just sad it didn't work out with June Jones when he was coach at Hamilton.
I was
excited. Remember they brought in Johnny Manziel for a second?
Alouettes.
Yep. Now, those were good days. Those were a lot of fun.
That's when you knew he was a bust.
Is the Lions draft class legit, or are they playing because there's so many holes? That's a valid question. That certainly is a valid question. They're contributing and they're in the stat sheet.
Right.
So it means they're doing something. They made a play, a game-deciding play. Amon-Ra St. Brown did. Caught 10 passes in the game. So it's a valid question. I'm not here to say, start carving the bust in Canton for Amon-Ra St. Brown yet. I'm not saying that.
But even on that play, you got to wonder, what the hell are the Vikings doing?
That's Mike Zimmer, man.
They had all the deep backs on the goal line, and then once the play starts, they fall back. They gave him the touchdown, and then tried to knock the ball out of his hand. That was awful defense.
No, it was. Again, Mike Zimmer, man. I'm stunned he's still employed right now. I'm stunned.
I am too. And Mike Zimmer, why didn't you run the clock down and kick the field goal for the winning points?
All great questions. All great questions. The New Year's Six Bowl matchups were announced. I know These always seem to fall flat every year. Michigan State is going to the Peach Bowl on December 30th. They will square up with Pitt. So, an opportunity for Michigan State fans to get a seat at the table as far as the group of 6 goes. And that's a hell of a season, Terry, for Michigan State.
It is,
given
but
what was
that's
thought.
an opportunity for that Pitt quarterback to pass for 500 or 600 yards, too.
and cement his standings. Did you see that run though by Kenny Pickett when he faked the slide?
I missed the slide. I heard all about it.
Yeah, fake the slide. I don't know if Sawyer can work some magic and throw that out. Maybe if he can figure that out, we'll throw that one up there as well. Oklahoma State, Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl, January 1st at 1 o'clock. The Rose Bowl set, Utah and Ohio State. That will be January 1st at 5 o'clock. So the College Football Playoff Committee chooses to eschew record ratings by just giving you the Fiesta Bowl and the Rose Bowl.
I'd like to see Ohio State and Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl and just sacrifice the Rose Bowl this year and have Oklahoma State and Utah. Just sacrifice it.
Ole Miss and Baylor in the Sugar Bowl. That one could be a little bit of fun. I had a feeling. We talked about Georgia going to Georgia. Oklahoma State always Oklahoma States too, and they did that tackle. Just inches in front of the goal line, and that cost them a shot at the playoffs. Do you think they would have? Do you think they would have bumped Cincinnati and put Baylor in? Or Oklahoma State. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. I think they would have done that.
You think so?
All the people in Cincinnati would be all pissed off and everything, but that's the way it goes. But all the teams that had a shot to get in lost.
They did. They had a lot. Some of them had a shot and they lost. Sawyer is the man. He came through with it. Take a look at this run, T-Foss, by Kenny Pickett. And you tell me, does this feel dirty to you? I mean, they show Kenny Pickett running. He's scrambling, and they're right there. He fakes the slide, and all the defenders pull up because you can't hit him. And he popped back up and went around the corner and scored. Does that feel dirty?
It's dirty, but I like it. I like it.
As you've proven by your El Paso stories.
Hey,
it's dirty, but you like it.
You do what you got to do to try to win a game.
Yeah, and that's what it was. So
now what's going to happen in the future? He's going to get blasted because they say, "Hey, I thought he was going to slide."
Yeah, John Dawson says, "Here comes the Pickett love," and that's going to be true. If he rolls out and he throws for 4 bills and 4 touchdowns against Michigan State, you think we're going to? Because I know that's how we work sometimes here, where when we watch the game, we see it happen, and there's a ton of recency bias for people. You think everyone's going to be clamoring to take Kenny Pickett with one of those picks?
Let me warn you.
Not at the expense of Hutchinson, I know.
No. What's going to happen is if he has a big game against Michigan State and everybody in this state is watching, the narrative is going to be, it should be the Lions' starting quarterback. It should be the next Lions quarterback. That's what you have to watch out for.
Braylon Edwards rolling by the studio right now. 2-4, the bottom line with him and Ryan Armani.
Brother, Braylon, dude, I saw this man walking down the street after Michigan beat Ohio State. He's the only brother I've ever seen levitate. This mug was not walking on the street. I looked at his feet. His feet weren't even on the ground.
Yeah. I saw him all big time, too,
he looked
on
like
Fox.
Kazoo from the Flintstones. Yeah. I'm like, damn, how's he going through? He was levitating.
Yeah, so make sure you catch the bottom line, 2-4 here. They'll be doing their victory lap. There is no doubt about that. They're going to be hyped. They'll be ready to go. And, good for them. Braylon says so. They'll discuss. They'll discuss coming up on the bottom line from 2-4. We're going to take our final break. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up. But, yeah, man, I mean, Pickett, he throws 404. They'll be clamoring for him here in Detroit, man. Let me tell you about Guardian Alarm, though. Guardian gets it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology. It's going to make you feel safe with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke and carbon dioxide. It'll even let you lock and unlock doors. Call 1-800
Stay out
today. That's 1-800
Stay out.
One more time, 1-800.
Stay out.
Get out of my house. Get away.
Guardian Alarm's been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe and keeping listeners locked in to Big D Energy for the final commercial break of the show. All because of 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out. Better not do it.
Guardian Alarm, folks. Need I say more?
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it. Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Final segment of the show here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, T. Foss, Terry Foster in for D-Mac and Joik. They will be back tomorrow. Fish is in the bowl. Sawyer's in the production booth. Happy to have you all along for the ride. And people love the Guardian Alarm read, man. They do. They love the stay out. Fish is an icon, and he is a hero.
Fish just starts stuff. He doesn't mean to do it, but he starts it, and it works.
It does. Hey, Fish has a great bit, and it works. You know, we were talking to Braylon Edwards indirectly. Braylon's going to jump on the show here coming up in just a couple minutes because I'm going to ask him the question that I asked all Michigan fans, T. Foss. Dare to be great. Why not dare to be great? You have this opportunity, and it doesn't have to validate you as far as winning a Big Ten championship, but it will validate you nationally because through all of it, and I know that we see it here, and I know what Michigan fans have gone through to get to this point. I understand that they feel some kind of way, and that's cool. I get it. But in the end, man, you got to do something to validate it nationally.
I'm sure they're preparing everything in their power to defeat Georgia. I'm sure some Michigan fans are hopeful of a victory over Georgia, and others are scared. So that's just the way we are.
Mike G says, Sun Bowl, 1-800 stay in.
Yeah, I know. No, I think that one was on 1-800 oh my.
CJ Schneider says, MSU's going to make Pickett look great. I really don't want to draft a quarterback this draft. So, people are going to have to fight that. There is no question. Patty Grimes calling it now. Cincinnati knocks out Alabama.
Yeah, okay. All right, Patty.
Hey, can we screenshot that one? So are we able to get a screenshot? Hey, we're going to keep receipts. Everyone keeps receipts on me all the time.
Was that Patty?
Yeah, Patty Grimes. Calling it now. Cincinnati knocks out Alabama.
If that happens, you need your own bookie show or something.
Woodward Bets
right.
would like to have a word
with Patty.
With you. Red Wings hosting the Predators tomorrow night. They keep winning, man. They do. And a lot of the similar qualities that we talked about, Terry, with the Lions, I think that the Red Wings and the Lions are on the same highway. They're both going up I-75 north. The Red Wings are a couple exits ahead of the Lions right now, but there are some of those similar qualities.
I think they're 4 exits ahead.
4, yeah, whatever that number is.
Or 50.
Mo Sider, though, man, Lucas Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
They are. It's on and popping for them.
Thumping.
And right now we will welcome in the co-host of The Bottom Line from 2 to 4. Make sure you stick around for that here today. Former Michigan receiving great.
Over here.
The Levitator, former NFL player. Of course, he is Braylon Edwards. Braylon, appreciate you carving out some time for us. But let me ask you this, Braylon. We don't have a ton of time left. And this is something where I took a lot of heat in the chat thread for. So I ask you this.
And I gave him heat, too.
He did. But I ask I ask you this, Braylon. You don't have to validate this in Big Ten circles or anything like that. I understand that. You got the T-shirt. You won. You beat Ohio State. You're Big Ten champions. And that was a big weight to get off the chest. I understand that. Yeah. However, nationally, national perspective, someone brought up recruiting perspective. You're swimming in these waters now. I think if you have your eyes on the prize, you have to win here. You have to win to start to change that narrative to where Alabama can lose 7 guys off an 11-man offense and roll out like nothing changed. if you want to get
to that, it changed because they struggled this year. It did change, but usually it doesn't. You're correct.
Yeah. So with all that being said, Braylon, why can't you dare to be great? Why is everybody just happy to be there?
Well, because it hasn't happened in a long time. It's not, even just the college football playoff era. Since I left, is the last time they won a Big Ten championship. Since they won a big game, if you want to even go that far. When they won a big game, last time they beat Ohio State before this year, it wasn't a big game. It's a big game to Michigan. It's a big game to Ohio State, but it wasn't a big game. They've won some big games this year. So I think, and also if you look at the ratings when they won those big games, they're the highest watched games this year. All the games they played in, well, the big ones were the highest watched games. So recruits nationally have seen that. But to your point, you definitely got to win this one. You got to win the one against Georgia. You don't have to naturally win. You don't have to naturally win. You don't have to potentially win the one against Bama because Bama's going to roll with Cincinnati. No pun intended. But you got to win the one against Georgia because the one against Georgia now it's national. It's you playing a national team. It's not just you playing against the Big Ten and it's a national game. It's playing a team from a different region of the country, which people respect more than any other region of the country, is the SEC. If you win this one against Georgia, you don't have to win the one against Alabama. You've proven yourself against Ohio State. You've proven yourself against Georgia. So I agree with you. Why not dare to be great? They're going to win the whole thing. I saw Blake Corum yesterday when I got back. When I landed from the airport, we were at an autograph signing together. And I'm all excited. He gave me a big hug. And I said, hey, man, you guys did it, blah, blah, blah. He said, we ain't did you know what yet. He said, just like Kobe said, I'm not happy the job's not done. So the mindset is there. But I agree with you. Winning Georgia will take them to that final step they need in terms of national recruit. I agree with you.
Yeah, and that's really my point, Brilliant. Like you can't take away what they did. That they won the Big Ten championship. They did in Big Ten circles. That's been vanquished. All the talk, that almost 2 decades, all that stuff. That's over now.
Yeah.
Now the next part of this game is where if you want to stack up in these circles with these dudes, then you got to beat them. And if you don't, then you're less than. But that's how it works, Braylon. You know that.
My point is this. Michigan is playing with house money now. Now, if they go to Georgia and lose 62-10, then that's all thrown out the window.
Right.
But if you go in there and play a great game and it's like 35-31 or 35-34 or something like that, I think Michigan can say, yeah, we can play with the big boys. We didn't win. And you have to look back in the history of Michigan. People still think Michigan is great, but when you looked at Michigan's past, under Bo, and they lost the Rose Bowl. Most years.
Yeah,
but
Bo didn't win to what, 91? 91
yeah,
was
he
first
was
win?
2-10.
Yeah, exactly. Like 89 and 91.
2-8 in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, but they were still still showered love on them. But I think if you play a competitive game with Georgia, is real close or something, even if you lose, then I think people will say, okay, you know what, this is really legit. And Harbaugh, nobody's going to say fire Harbaugh, or nobody's going to say Michigan is fake. Or anything like that.
It stabilizes things. I agree with that.
They just lost the game.
Like Juice's Ghost is on here on their YouTube chat thread saying you are trying to take it away, though. That's why we're jawing at you. No, I'm not. This is the next step. That's over now. What happened, the Big Ten championship, that's over now. Now it's the big boy table. Braylon.
Yeah, and what people in the chat have to realize is what Neil Rule doesn't have any allegiance to Ohio State, Michigan State, Michigan. He calls it down the line. He sees the future. He's like, all right, cool, Michigan beat Ohio State. Now, he's always looking to the future because he doesn't have that allegiance, which is actually good to have because you can have these conversations as an alum. You're like, sometimes you can get caught up on your high horse, and then you forget what actually is at stake, or you can forget the next part. So I actually appreciate it. But beating Ohio State nationally, the highest watched game of the season, like that did it for Michigan. We knew they were going to beat Iowa. We knew that was going to be a slam dunk. At least I did. At least you did. Yeah. Terry, you did as well. But now, like you said, if you play a close, comparable game against Georgia and you lose, you still can have the pundits to say, oh, well, you know what, Georgia could have done this, or Georgia could have done this wrong, and blah, blah, blah. You got to beat them. Because you beat them, now you can get the recruits from anywhere. Like if you play a close game, people are only going to see the win. They're going to see the wins and losses. It's like, oh, well, Michigan played a good game, but they lost. Georgia won. So if I'm on the fence and I live in Florida and I'm on the fence, oh, you know what? I might still go to Athens as opposed to go to Ann Arbor. But if you beat them, it's not on the fence, and it's not about being, oh, they played close, or Georgia lost because of this. They're going to lose because Kirby Smart thinks he's Nick Saban, and he's not. But we'll get to that for the next 25 days. They got to beat Georgia. They beat Georgia. Everything they want, recruiting-wise, nationally, is there for them for the rest of the next 2-3 years.
Absolutely. Brandon, appreciate you, man. 2-4, bottom line. You and Ryan Armani. tap in, man.
I am, man. This is the show, man. I love Big D energy, man. I guess nobody has more Big D energy today than me.
That's right.
Dude, I thought Braylon, I said, damn, this dude, this brother's 6'10". No, he was levitating. He was not walking.
Braylon Edwards and David Blaine, man, making their way down the street, man. No, appreciate you though, Braylon.
No problem,
T-Foss, appreciate you coming in. All the watchers, all the listeners, all the commenters. Fish Sawyer did a great job as always. Till tomorrow, my name is Neil Rule. Thanks for tapping into Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho.